So if nothing's made you upset or nothing's made you angry so far in this video, then I think this next one will. Is your favourite current trend about to die soon? Well, you're about to find out in this video. Also, a massive shout out to Drew Joyner who inspired this week's video, but now that's all out the way, let's just get into it. So the first trend or item that I don't think has long left is the Adidas Samba. The Samba's been extremely popular over the last 2 or 3 years, but I do think it's peaked. Now, before you come at me with your pitchforks or burst into tears or smash the unsubscribe button, just because I'm saying something is going to die soon doesn't mean I don't like it. People get very sensitive when I say something that they love is going out of trend, but I'm not the one making it go out of trend. I don't know what you think I'm doing, putting curses on those items and trying to force them out of trend. I don't know, but I'm merely a watcher, a spectator, seeing what's going on and sharing what I'm seeing with you. But if you're getting really upset about something you love going out of trend, then you need to ask yourself why. Anyway, the Sambas have had a great run, and I do think we'll still see them a lot over the summer, but I do think that we're riding on the tail end of the hype wave with them right now, if that makes sense. At one point, not even that long ago, it was almost impossible to get your hands on a pair of Sambas, and I even saw raffles for them online, which is crazy. But these days you can normally find them in your size at most stores, and that means the supply has outgrown the demand. I do think the Adidas Samba will always have a place in fashion, and if not, it will always have a place on the indoor football pitch, but I think their time in the spotlight is coming to an end. Just like the next trend, which is actually a whole brand, and it's Aimé Leon d'Or. Now, I think ALD were one of the main players who brought the preppy style back to the mainstream, but I do think the hype around them is dying out at the moment. And I think the thing that really did it for ALD is the amount of brands that straight up copied them. Brands copied their style, their lookbooks, their marketing strategies, and their branding as a whole, and it was quite difficult to see. The amount of brands I saw posting vintage pictures that apparently inspired them to their Instagram stories got ridiculous. And the amount of photo shoots I saw that looked like this, again, ridiculous. Why brands straight up copy other brands makes no sense to me whatsoever, but yeah, maybe it works. Personally, I wouldn't want to be known as a straight up copy of another brand. That's all you're going to be known for, but that's just me. Anyway, all of this copying had a negative impact on ALD in 2 main ways, I feel. The first is because there was so many brands trying to be just like ALD that it just felt overdone. And secondly, because the pieces from ALD are so simple, it was so easy for other brands to copy the same style and sell it for a much more affordable price. ALD is very expensive, and I'm not saying it's not worth the money, but most people don't want to spend that kind of money on simple pieces, and a lot of brands know this. So all they have to do is create similar pieces, a similar style brand for a fraction of the cost, and people are going to shop there. And I suppose it's a shame for ALD that this has happened to them, but then again, it just shows you how successful they've become. Just like this next brand who are also dying out in a similar way, and it's Birkenstock. Birkenstocks have had an amazing run, and people have been thoroughly enjoying them over the years. And speaking of enjoying things, if you're enjoying this video, please feel free to drop it a like. It would be much appreciated. Anyway, now I'm done begging for likes, I want to bring in Drew here, and he's not actually here with me, but I want to play a snippet from his video where he talks about Birkenstocks and then elaborate on one of his points.
Another factor with the Birkenstock Boston is that there are a lot of dupes that replicate this model to a T for a cheaper price. And once again, to me, dupes signal the apex of a trend, meaning the peak level of where a trend is at. And then in the subsequent months following the dupes coming out or duplicated products becoming more prominent, that is when you start to see the decline of a brand or product in terms of how trendy or popular it is.
So thank you, Drew. If you haven't watched Drew's video, then I'd highly recommend that you go and check it out. Now, I do agree with Drew here, but I do want to take it one step further. Birkenstocks definitely paved the way for the whole mule trend that we're seeing right now, but let's face it, they are a little bit ugly. Well, I think so anyway. They're a little bit bulbous, a little bit clumsy looking, and I think there's a lot more sleeker options available right now. And why would you want to wear the ugly duckling when you can wear the sexy duckling instead? I personally don't like the way Birkenstock Bostons look on my feet. When I look down, they look a little bit too rounded, a little bit too bulky, and I don't really like the side slits by the straps either. But I do like the idea of the shoe. So if I can find another brand that I really like who are offering the same kind of shoe, but without those bulbous and holy bits in them, then I'm going to buy those instead. There'll always be people who love Birkenstocks who will only wear Birkenstocks, and they have my respect. don't get me wrong. But when more and more brands are coming out with their own version of the shoe, then it gives people more options to choose from, and that's what they're doing. They're choosing other options. So I'm sorry to say it, but the Birkenstock Boston, in my opinion, is dying out, but not as much as this next item, the cargo trouser. And I don't mean the trousers you need to wear to start your car. I think cargos will always have their place, but they became everyone's go-to trouser to the point where everyone was wearing them. And I still really like the way they look when people dress them up in a military style way, but when I see them in street style fits, I've just had enough. And I think a lot of people must be feeling the same as me because I'm seeing a lot less people wearing them these days. But what do you think about them these days? Are you still enjoying them, or are you bored of them? Let me know. Anyway, not much to say about this one, so let's move on to a more controversial one, and it's relaxed fits. Just like a lot of other things on this list, I do think relaxed fits will always have a place, but I do think the slimmer fits and the more tailored fits are making their way back in. But they never left, I hear you say, and yeah, I agree with you. Slimmer fits are timeless and they never really go out of style, but I do feel the relaxed fits have really dominated the fashion scene over the last few years. But I think brands like Celine and Saint Laurent are getting very popular again at the moment, and I do think other brands will follow suit. And just to be clear, when I say slimmer fits, I don't mean spray-on skinny jeans, although they will have their day again, mark my words. Trends are cyclical, and it's only a matter of time before they come back into style, and you might be in a pair in the not so distant future, even though you probably don't agree with me now. So if nothing's made you upset or nothing's made you angry so far in this video, then I think this next one will. So get your punching bags ready, your stress balls, or your box of tissues, not for that reason, for crying. Get your mind out the gutter, but it's New Balance sneakers. And I'm not talking about just one particular sneaker here, I'm talking about all of their sneakers. Now there's no denying it, New Balance have been absolutely everywhere over the past few years, and I think a large part of that is down to Aimé Leon Dore. They helped make the dad shoe cool, and the comfort and the quality of the shoes just drove the sales even more. Now New Balance haven't really ever been a brand that I've been really into. I do like a few of their models, but the models that I like are normally the models that everyone else absolutely hates, like the RC30s. But that's absolutely fine with me, but I think a lot of their models just remind me of what I wore to PE at school back in the day, and I just can't get past that. But I feel there's been a massive shift away from New Balance recently. In terms of style, there'll always be people out there who wear them for comfort, but from a style point of view, I think there's been a big shift away from them. And I think most people have gone over to Adidas. Adidas are definitely having their moment right now, but as I said, the Samba, I think it's on the way out, so which sneaker is going to be next? Do let me know what you think. Anyway, your personal style is developed by mixing together all the things that you come across and enjoy wearing over your lifetime. And no one out there is going to have the exact same combination of pieces mixed together as you do, and that's what gives you your own unique style. So if you're always ditching the pieces that work for you or that you enjoy wearing as soon as they go out of trend, then you'll never develop your own unique style. So even if a trend you love dies out, then keep it alive in your style. I hope that makes sense. In my head it sounded very poetic, but I feel it came out like a load of nonsense. But yeah, hopefully you get what I mean. But I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please do leave the video a like. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See you later.